charge of awarding scholarship to individuals who deserves it. So the question is, dear Nasa Foje Ebeye as a scholarship secretariat boss. It's a way there, a drew on one, a 9-member committee who will be in charge. Said that he said, "Musa say the 9 May and Nama Lucius and Innocent. If I say 9, it's an opebia betnasi near Wabefre, Antaro Betna had also per scholarship. A didn't per scholarship. Near interview into O qualifier, Nafi minister na appending the signature na or the Akokomano. Now, as a for Jane or your scholarship secretariat boss or non Casacrano, never Wakobansem. And this 9-member committee is also a appointees or more, a binomo, a businessmen who are also politically affiliated to different political parties. They know Yami Adoma, Menya da Genma Church, Muye Pa, and the Achemo. And this is what is going on under the Ministry of Education, under the watch of Yera Haruna Idrusu. So please, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, or the Vice President, Yemami Professor Gina Nopokwajiman, any all other stakeholders, and the NDC Chairman, any more Chief of Staff, Yera Julius Debra, Muina, Mofamu Hunje Sase Muemu. Now we making sure say the decision will be reversed immediately and as soon as possible to making sure say the scholarship secretariat will be used to empower people and relevant people rather than this 9-member committee every day they will sit and be discussing, and of course the board will not be able to pay them because they'll be taking allowances and what have you. But first of all, I started the discussion with the scrubbing of the fuel allowances and what have you. From the journalist point of view, okay, do you see it as a good move by the president? Okay, JB, NDC Abawe no bibi on baby anomo planning. They are just being strategic. I see. Sir, unim se echina reporter me call news portals no mi hunu se echina and a Ghana Revenue Authority ebe introduce 1 cedi energy sector levy na. Yes. One more postponed echina and one more de beba. Yenim se NDC Abawe after 7 December, yeah, President Mahama started adwuma. First quarter the coupons eko. Oh yeah. First quarter. First quarter the. First half of credit eko. First half, yeah, yes. Because you're 7th month. Sure, yeah. Yeah, pa quarter ho cry. Yes, sure. Second quarter. Yeah. Ye ni mu se senate bia no. Be 6 months a wo mo edi wa ba mi die. Ekwan bi aso no. Fuel coupons eko. First sa energy levy eba ye 1 cedi no ba ye no. Mse Ghana for buffet. Look at me post two near maybe what social media so me platforms. Okay, can what doing? Maybe bo madwini because me we say obi to say Shamima ama prat no money they justify na wo mu defend it or my ready so betu ya 1 cedi no say wo my ready na me say like seriously our presidency ya ma free a coupon fu wa no beji ni free oji beji ni free ama asa so kura che bia mankrofo sebi mukru no mukra no coupon no mu benya bi enti na wan say yesi ya ba beji 1 cedi per liter wu na wo gina bonti na wo kiremu na wo defend na wo justify 1 cedi na 1 cedi enti serious me sa part na me buofu se omo a wo mu ntofu wo no omo na e defend ye dey e justify. And also, make us a way said, be a way biano, a strategically be a move now, move no. And the China be introduced to Ghana Revenue Authority. At this levy, we say ban, and President Mahama. At this release, we say Yaba, fellas, quattro for Sudiaba say, henceforth, oh, yeah, government official, government appointee, who need free food, be our baby, and so back to fuel, who could a goil, now what fill tank. Na wokọ adwuma waso wayi windia siso efra no pa kokọ pema nwumre wokọ ma pa waso wayi wokọ girlfriend ho no mo a na chese wa pack car no na ejesi so because unye free fuel enti eye because ni ebuofu say mumu ntobi always na chese ordinary Ghanaian enso fa bedis ni na esum de agu Ghana for so na just time bia no ye introduce new taxes new levy afenso kwa na existed ones na on so kwa na yes system ye increase at the end of the day me ne wo any Ivan ye eti ordinary Ghanaian ye mobro wa for no the vulnerable in the society ye na ye suffer ye na ye be nkrofo se be nkrofo akro no ma ba bebo ne ya kan energy sector e ka da ho no mo e bebe to ye over 80 billion and over 81 billion ni ye bu akonta na at the end of the day akonta na ye bu no
timamuni ya enye ne bone ne light bill otua ne mitebo ne fie otua omo aban ne koro no ono na esofa ne asanso abukare de agunu so wukomo ya ekaye da won me ya ekeke esle ye introduce ye say na ye de kwaji loan yi efa so be ne ba so ma Ghana ni Kania ye ti Ghana ha say ya under the leadership of your friend say former energy minister Dr. Meltupoku Prempe JB hwe me ti wono me mitebo me fie postpaid I can't remember say baby am kotena ye no e say 2023 about 2024 early 2024 no na me bill about 350
oh okay
a free bill June July eba na me tua 900,000
I see
ya make an announcement be our Ghana can't Ghana ni say ya 2A bia utility base mu be say 500% and now 600%. Only say installment of new meters no Ghana for complaining ye says say ye prepaid ne boho no at the end of the month who spend the best 500 say who spend more than 1,000 but announcement bia free periods one mama me can't Ghana ni say e bia ya 2A bia utility base in Kania bomu be say be 100% and I say be 200% and one say install new meters no na etwi boom 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 na de be ya ne say aban ne ba na ya chichire timamuni nsa de agu na chi na ya call parliament na energy minister John Jenapo na wo chirem ye beto ka e ka no se ye nyi efiri wono mu a dumso be ye CV Ghana fo bebre e wo senkane ani agina so na afa no ye de 1 cedi akwakoto woto ye friend say fi wo bia petrol diesel na se ene petroleum yi bia na ye de 1 cedi atoso na abamu mpanimfo na fi wo no mu ntobi no omo na echirem omo na justify ene ye betua nti se na President Mahama I was so trust na to hono ono udi kan na che se ye timemfo na de ye di akiri won se oti ne ma bi se yi a enye wabufu enye wo ya enhya wa horoba won se president no wo tu anamon ye nyina na ya beto ha nti ye nyina nya de ye mwa na sa wo ha no ye nyifafiri ho esan se sumu na ye de eya and then JB twade na apie say government appointees government officials obi anto ni fuel ye wo Ghana ha say ni ye V8 de si hɔ no mo a V8 no ye bufu we free the boom na ye de akonwa ye de president akonwa ene sim be bia president be ko bia no esa say V8 no enye ne sika na ye de toye taxpayers money na ye de toye
Mahama so ye bi
me kai a former president me say 8 years etwa mu ekoye na president Akufo-Addo so Ghana for kan ye nti obia na V8 tu pa na nam na ekọ na eba na ye de yesi makonwa ya president driver na etwi akonwa ni ye bufu we free enti president Mahama say wo francis say ya na wo say wo ya na wo kwade a edu ba bi emu oya se me kwa akoto fi wani introduce but that 11 kwa na o ma kire mu a me ti ase no emu da ho no plane enya de bi e ha dwene bia it is what was apart one as ama practice mi manom eno ran mo John Jenapo nom wo ba be to fi well dia se nyina na ye ka
ne obi ahoma no
aha na enya bufu bi aha
Lucius when you coupon no that is government official
am dasi am fa kwanyas na menchia wahwefo na menchia NDC fo abenso baje bra be hwe ni na eya asem de anopa ya yini mahu se communicate bisa enenam ayi media no so I say president I say political appointees no allowances are better mabe for full and no with immediate effect fine ya information no ba no paya na no paya
into the more print no bende
and here in there say bebe tubagu tubagu o ko yusu no ba bia enye
well
na eye asempa so ahu me nua won say before NDC ebeba aban mu no President Mahama any NDC fo nyina ka kire Ghana fo say ye bidura ye be reset Ghana adenti ana Ghana fo nyina egitum say oman no apro atete asai esan MPP fo ene na do abeba e nua ba e kasa na o kasa bi Ghana be dia konwa si na ba so air condition asiso na be de nam Ghana abonten so enti na ahokire pa ye de na e wo ho ne Ghana fo nyina na egitum se ahokire den e wo ho enti na yehia obi a obeba be den obeba be gie ene ya President Mahama e ba ye no the oye say researching no mpanimfo kan asem bi say bebo down fifi o bodam di fifi ha ayi bronin kasa bele charity begins at home nti no say ne etie dia ministers a mewo anase ministers a meyi no ankane ohwe ministers na adu di kan yi ya okoyi about 125 ministers ewo Ghana haisi be nyina betika mu beti be wofie begifu allowance sahodo no nyina begibi ebo oman no ka eni nti no ebra so say ye nyina no ye be den ye de niam bi a ebetimi aboa ma ye ho ayeden ahenhan ye agu akwan mu eni no ka say 60 ministers no be den obeyi enti sa ohwa ministers a nanado eyi no president Mahama na dwen say odimu be half pe any ebebu man no enti say o calculate VH and minister betinam allowances ahodo pediums ahodo ne fie ne security any ayi housemaid nasefo mu nyina sa sika no ebeba be den ebeba bebu oman no futum amede aiden edi abobra. I think last week in the Ivan call a meeting be ana for National Development Planning Commission na be can be about say or share mortality rate ye ma me mo abeko awoso a be mafie na ekosoro what you say na emudodo na nso ye ade a akwati say ye wo chefa wom anase aban wo chefa wom out of negligence ka hubi ne ebi nso ohonum a enema bi ananka ese ya ntimi anye den anye enti no president Mahama kraka ese ayi wo hwe district assemblies no common fund na akona wa task be say every year bia no district assembly bia ensi one chip compound what you say
I say every district assembly bia na ye preso to me see one chip
yes compound. Year bia afi ba ku bia no say we see chip compound na we say no e be possible so dia na chese ye hia sika what you say say o calculate chip compound and the year ukọ nkurase na na say ba bia materials no a wo pe no kra no ne bo fam na wo hia be ye around 100,000 Ghana cedis what you say and I say 800 yes sorry around 800,000 Ghana cedis na what you get then what we di asi wo hweye schools ahodo a ewo oman yu ma yo ba bia nkra da so ti enuase ene den ene eco school nti se ebenya sika dia ko si chip compound ebenya sika e dia akọ si schools ahodo ebenya sika dia to textbooks e dia mankra na eche se aban mu mpanimfo abeno nso no ba den banya baabi agina no enema bi abe enjoy say etinye den yetimi yi so kakra enti anyina no ye eche no kakra enti wo ho no ma wo ti V8 ma no wo ti air condition mu no ye hwan wo de no so kakra na ya nya sika de atofutuo mu na ya tumi de den ya tumi de abo oman no ho bra me bi hu ne say ya asempa every bi atwam na ente saa what you say be catch say oman no emudin a time bia be catch say emudin no ade ba ko be sen adwen ho ye say be geto what you say na ba san ayeden ba san di alive big enti wa abreko MPP for na be catch say oman no mu ayeden no be introduce e-levy be oman no mu ayeden be introduce betting tax oman no mu ayeden na fuel air kosoro oman no mu ayeden na offense dollar no so ne bo ayeden ne bo air kosoro enti e ma ho kire kese pa ayeden e be toye o Ghana haisi enti no me no de meka e say e asempa ba be wo political appointment no e ma be ngu no so say e ye ade bi a e ye hate bi wo hu say aban no pese be ho e kire be no what you say because say wo hwe oman ya yetim na wo hwe kwan a me kai bribi ayi nsoko but your ba pinfo bi free honum eba when chi Methodist hospital na unim sa awo kan the previous day no na awo kan no na benya ka emfa no nyede emfa no mba I see what you say nti ade chi na say bidie ka bi ko ho bidie ka no ko bidie ka o ko akura na si o bidie ka ko akura na si a no ko fa ni bidie ni be sere no eye kia ahu me bed no to Kia no.
Hey.
Ne kia yi ba dia ben pa sa no ba hospital. Na bedru e no. Na ayi oba no na se ahom be sisi.
Oh.
Because na akra no de ne nsa.
Oh.
Na eba. What you say? Entimi senka be woni aba che compound bi wo hono. Ne e happen ye bede no call hono ma. Megidie say enka nurse ni a owo hono no ebetumi asoso ano kakra. What you say? Ansa na bed no ede aba ayi offense district hospital and I say any nearby hospital. Hwe oko ayi hospitals ahodo na and I say district hospitals na. Ko hwe kwan amanfo asanlai e wo hono. What you say? Obi hono ma ni issue no e mild issue bi sa. And I say, enya de bia e wosuru bia be obekwa akodi lies so wa breko anka bia chim compound wo honum ye malaria simple malaria bi ni okọ ye na bia be hwe na enka no ho beto no but obetwa kwan akọ a district hospital no akodi lies so minimum mekai incident bia obi take queue room o ti queue ma okọ head doctor sa otwo no wa wu oh enti piniko no ono so tu ho. And some later be notice say, well, what you say? And no, in some people ma, and get this, and to me who say a good move, ni President Mahama, I take you say, at least say my ministers no for allowances no so. And no crowd who say your other allowances be more hard. Yeah, but it's about to scrap his allowances no if you hold. Nanka at least yeah to me they are share the other sectors no so.
Okay. Ivan, before I say about Honor, my main cow said the minister in charge of local governments, chieftaincy and rural development, and religious affairs. Actually, assembly members, April, May, or more allowances, no 1,300. The court, into assembly member be our Ghana Habiano. Oyere and Naukunu, I get 1,300. Why? It's Ocasio scanning for your boy. Ivan, I mean,
yeah, salary bow now.
Aye.
What was salary bow now?
Oh, that be America.
Yeah, my mentor na mentor what here for. Na menka say governance.
Yeah.
Is about the people. So in any proper governance setup, biano is premised on the welfare and the collective gains of majority of the people or more minimum at any point in time. And policies and programs of government, always, as I reflect these daily needs of people, and like from a policy background, you can say the policy bar. First of all, you look at problems how our minimum, so you tease these problems out. Now what weave solution. So that solution, so by the time a policy in the Bible, now it is seeking to address the basic challenges now we're finding within. So that is the whole concept of the policy coming up, just to address society problems. And then as a form, I bet me enhance nipa capacity to do better. In recent times, banana a bone of contention because of social media, they are very open. People are very much concerned about how to do with the way government officials in the government now casa some silly expenditures and the blow monies away. The very people who are supposed to be beneficiaries of a government that has been set up, don't benefit. Now, the very few people who are able to get to the top of the pinnacle, and I said the top of the triangle, almost become richer and they become comfortable. But I have told you, so that is not governance. Governance is supposed to have a far-reaching impact positively on people. And this particular fuel allowances, first of all, I'm more President Mahama Abaso for doing this particular thing because it is something that has been on the lips of Ghanaians for so many years. I have sat here on this platform and my counsel say it doesn't make sense. A teacher ni or no child there, but so maybe or get 3,000 or no. Yes, on to fuel. Now will be or no a minister or access to huge money in as a form of does it make sense? And these two people are working for the same motherland. Does it make sense? So it doesn't make sense. It defies this logic, common sense. And as for over the years, we think their power is being in a privileged position, you enjoy yourself. That is all that political power, the concept has always been about. Until the very moment you are appointed as DC MP, you feel you are better than the rest of the people. And you must be treated special. Then as a forum, that mindset, and I don't know where it's coming from. But you see, all these things in a colonial mentality, you inherit it. My culture say in the colonial period, we say the governor of Bakruma, I now represented the Queen of England as a for so.
Yeah.
At the time, when somebody is coming from UK to Ghana, it was seen as a risk because that time, not civilization, you can die anytime. Malaria, there was this tribal conflict over here, Asante, British war, this. So when somebody is walking all the way from UK to Ghana, that is seen as a risk. So Abrafun making sure say you be compensate you handsomely. So they will give you big salary, they will give you allowance, they will give you a security, they will give you a garden boy, they will give you clothes allowance. Then as a forum. So these are colonial inheritance because the panoban or be taking risk. Until they will compensate you with all these things. Misgiving because share the goodies around now. You accept the queens of our ankam.
Yeah.
So yaji after independence, and I'm saying bibini ye ni pabone fuenti, this colonial inheritance, yantu ngu. And I yes say ni nyina ma ye ho. Realizing say yan kasa na ye di ye ho so. Enti na obekọ judge fie or security or cook or hwan garden boy. Ni sa nkrofo nyina state na tu omuka wo. Or security, your man clothes allowance, your man disallowance, your man this all this nonsense of allowance. Ya sasa their man. So you see a pama brofo na omako become ba be dia so. But the way we benefit, we invited all these things, and the black man is okay with it. And I yanka say ye dia hoso no, ya science na ye did there. So I think that this is a breakthrough policy where President Mahama as ya born about because it doesn't make sense. Say government official because say top petrol na ordinary person should. And over the years, keep on and say nipa na je on use some of these people a young lady 22 years na gu ne car boot. Obekọ no friend obi na yasesa ma no. So I know the day some of these privileges we abuse so I know the day obete expenditure from government is huge. But you look at the developmental aspect, there is absolutely nothing to show for. And I mean, you can VAT, you fuel, petrol, the air checker, and so forth. Does it make sense? You understand? But over the years, and I never win in our course. Emma, your friend saying a so for me, I think that this is a great move by president, and I think that he should continue. For me, the fuel allowance alone is not even enough. One thing Amaka, this per diem people traveling. It's absolute nonsense.
It is absolutely because
Debbie, so you are not going there as an ordinary person. You are going there by the virtue of the fact that maybe you are a minister and you are performing your core function. At the end of the month, they pay you for your core function. So traveling out, why must that come with extra? And the funniest part of it all is say, so I call football space na GFA for na se for na. Pediam no mutia ma mo ho no. E so chen salary o moje.
Oh yeah.
What I say? Yes. And all these things go away. Obi betime to kwan. Oh, JB from Hako Kumasi kwaye program. E bia program no betime wie one day aba. But when him say we spending more days abenya pediam ntino, the person will stay longer because the more you stay, the more you get your pediam. You understand? So I think say you see a reset here. These are crucial areas we must look at and focus. We say resetting now some of these per diem or necessary per diems and then as a form of this fuel this allowance. Your mom for we say you have two positions and that privileged position will be live as a lord on people. Now it is an opportunity to come and serve the people by making sure core thing is we impact it positively by making sure policies and programs of government will have far-reaching consequences on the people. So see, I'm not here. Analyze the economy. But people are mentioning GDP, but inflation, and so I can just say upon all these metrics, they assess whether the economy is doing well or not. The fundamental thing I give you micro analysis of an individual has to do with the Human Development Index because I don't know talk about your overall health. It talks about your friends' education. It talks about your social and your friends' economic well-being. Young individuals when they are out in terms of some of these things. Now you who say how and a Ghana for your near my SCT. So for me, I think that these are some of the things that you have really a mind to. Now you have governance, any positive impact on people. Now you're making sure say some of these minor things over the years, ye bu ye nyegu so na ye power na say ye de enhance ye ho ye de empower ye ho ye de nyasika na asefo ni yenyim free ho. So I think that government deserve a lot of commendation for doing this, and for me there are other areas he must also look at. Because Ghana for the year penny said the burden will be lessened. Yet here few years ago, the president did a press conference telling Ghanaians, former president Akufo-Addo, say, "Yen tighten your bet, na your face because on my no higher than."
We are not in normal times.
At the time, no president bet your trust and nation na who could new campus about bet because at the Jubilee House you saw the amount of money that they were wasting there at the time. You understand? People were telling him, "Say, so if you want us to, yen tighten your belt, one so no." Size of government and huge and fast will be a mass, so let's try to resize it. But that particular wise counsel, no, hit it on the snag. Nobody listened to anybody. So for me, I think that this is a good move and it's in line with the concerns of Ghana for raising. It means that President Mahama Kwatana and China was signed by bibi. And he's listening, working on the dictate and the demands of the people. Okay. Because these are some of the things that na Ghana for here nim say omo aban be ya mo enti na ya da sorry na say aban ento fuel ma obia biem obia should buy ono ankasa the way. I think that the same thing should also be extended to individuals when it comes to electricity na say for nom na obia na you make sure say yen nyina ya that the same line so or salary allowance everything abenya no and na be determine the cost of living eba sa na ebe ma obia your friend saying a clear picture of the real state of the economy. And to say, I can't have economy in one idea. And yes, I will fuel free into Obia will appreciate say indeed, or mine more than say mine Koya, Obia will appreciate because these are people sitting at the policy table. So if they feel the heat, that's Obia over another day, you know. That will factor into and DSTV in as a form over the years the amount of money you blow in all these things does even make sense. You understand? DSTV does it even make sense?
Jubilee House, Flagstaff House in Chile, Afibiano Mudi ne cost Ghana 1 million Ghana cedis. In Chile keke, maybe a president did now in Chile and Siniafaka Krafa so. At Afibia, the budget 1 million Ghana cedis and the ton Chile.
No, sir, when the system is weak, everybody will exploit it to their advantage.
Some okay, share NPP and Guasie 2024. Some of these issues.
Yes.
Because time I work crisis, yes, regional tour. And then presidency expenditure number report by spend fuel 51 million Ghana cedis, car tires, batteries 15 million Ghana cedis. Some of these issues and also some of these stories no. Out Ghana full. So
these are things that Ghana for and JB, governance are projected to a level and every single Ghanaian out there no enim dia koso. Me say sa okọ makola na kwisia ma me a oton toma na wona na ka politics nim dia owo no e bia kra ya TV see ni sa nim dia no. People have grown to appreciate politics to the sense say ade bia obeye bia no they can read meaning into. So when you are government, I don't think that we are still in 1990 where you think the people are gullible folks, they don't understand anything. I'm telling you that Ghanaians are well enlightened, they understand policy deep in and out. They understand. So I think that some of these things meeting the immediate needs of the people like the president has done. No? For me, I think that it's positive. Right. Ghanaians should commend the president for doing this and also ask him to do more. Because I can't just say until per diem, yes, crappy flu, and I will not be happy because I don't understand why Obi too quiet Juma. Jumano is why we appointed the person to go and do now you see extra cash and money. Does it make sense? You understand? Okay. And there's some of other things that we need to look at. For instance, as the president too quiet, just say yes where will be in monetary and name. Does it make sense?
Lucius, my memory before semi call the number honor. Now Abdulkumanov, I'm so young camp was a meeting, of course. Ye na you they see wo hono mo mama obi Dr. Cote d'Ivoire say of Ankoma ha okuso no pantwetwe ne mo so there's a pain and no day at the end of the day the NDC won. What does it mean to the NDC? For the first time in the history of our republic from 1996 till now NDC winning about that. For the first time NDC winning that battle, but beyond about to no the quite for a pocket of issues to see wo hono mo no. What does it mean to the good people of Ghana, our democracy, and going into a by-election and also what are the consequences?
Okay, JB Midase. for the first time in history, NDC are winning a WOHO. I don't know. Despite the fact say, Yanyano ABR 100%. What you say? But then, me give you say, Oshe, Amamu Papa, Air Kosona, and no Kahubi, and my NDC, winning. Entino, Aquatia, the Yesua, Yekoino. No regime say NDC ebesan awini.
I see.
Na the course na no. Adeba kwa mesre MPP 4 eni say benko to be fee. Ansana eni no say yebeka bibi anase bibi besi wo Ghana haya be de ba no aba bi. Da bia make say MPP party no ai den agu. Be okana be feel say beboa o se o hwe ayi elections ya ye be kɔ no 2028 na no na be kire say NPP party no agu after 2028 election NPP entum ma power bill no kwase mpa no
commissioner
and ne air kɔ no party na agu
oh okay
what you say agu na mbom sesie no enya de a bebehu until say be kɔ general election na bebe who say the results na eda 38 no esu ahwen aba be 16 e ho mo bebe who say be party na dey agudie ntia me ka say yes onim say enra be call national council meeting
eno na mo ko e
enra
oh I see
na be call ye no mamen na aye friend is
afri
ye ekọ kopa acho say party no mom a take decision say ben contest the election no na mom onu mom ye den ekoye say obekaya before elections no regional secretary ba bonche be kai say enya dia MPP air contest da oka asasem no na ye Monday na mboa
no it was on Thursday
Wednesday Thursday no oka say party no decision you say enya dia be contest election no
if I mo call court na court failure no onko high court a court ebo mo injunction ni gu ye no omo buy no be press conference so it was I think Wednesday Thursday
or grantee interviews be brave eke say enya dia be contest je ye hu ya ni say ade chi na maami e the cast enam krum oye campaign now them pa ni beba say party I take a decision na nipa ba akofo atimi I na dwen say decision na party kakaka na take no ono no mfa nya adwuma what you say nka de di kan no ne to so mienu the same party na okay say onko contest no the next members na be concede say be onko contest no campaign abatu nu na ba san gina ho enti no me tin say ma me na akwa patch say all contest no mbisa mo say all patch na what happens to the same people na all patch no where were they not there the same people na be take decision say be nko no be so na be wo ho nti say wo patch say one ko wo ye den
wo contest
na then what happened to them too? I didn't tell Beso Ben Patch or say Beso Becker say, young contest in Suyakoi.
But I been uncle. Most of the key party officials know the likes of the general secretary uncle, the chairman uncle, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia uncle. But I think say Osmai.
Mahmoud Bawumia Osmai. So you
Kennedy Japan. Kennedy Japan is not a executive member.
No, but say or any personal aid.
Well,
I didn't hear the spokesperson rather.
What can Japan?
No, I mean, Mraka Abuaji.
Well,
what I say, spokesperson.
Sure.
Kennedy Japan, Hunting can say presidential aspirant 2024, which is Kennedy Japan. No, Hon. What I say, prospective aspirant, Brian Champo, on the first and donate Sika.
Yeah,
let the man,
sure.
Wahoo, Entino, what you say, partner, and Kasam says here, Obibe said the center canoe. And you be chairman obo say chairman no one con say chairman ankasa hu no krache
and chairman to say all the so what tro krata kraka say opeso gina homeka yeah
entino me komanim no ma membra ne course wo horum abato na e course wo horum no me who say journalist be police ni bi ball nasu yeah man yako I think say adena police ni no ye no wanya de any crime continue by the by interdict no wanya de no matter what minim ade pa ne obi ebe ya obetimi ahwe nasu tesa enti wanya de na mom maame ha akum sei ono na sem no de ne nkan ye no wahu sometimes o ko kan I say minim Ghana for ye too hypocrisy o kan I say be say on mihu hwe de di kan me eba bi to say affirmative action bill me one of the crusaders me gitu pass say mba 18 ya ba bi gina e wo yama no semu ne o hwe President Mahama nso e wo saa gidie no eni nti a oba e na appointees no o hwe na o appointee ma bebre in actual fact this is for abe appointee be kwampo no o ko district bi a ayi oba eka ba be pe ayi DC no ho a o yo oba na o ka ho
yeah that qualified be ma
o de be ma what you say enti no one men so da say yebekọ ayi abato na pinche ebeba men so nieto so mienu men so say obabasia anase obatan yebeye no ye no ayi na no eno no so men so na mom jebi o kan Bible na wo ho o che say happy are those who from now die in the service of the Lord. Yes indeed they shall enjoy rest because the results of their service go with them. Now my point to what the results of their service go with them. Wo numa ebedu won achi enuma be ni di ha kumsi achi mpanimfo ka say de ahwe de ba afie ono a anything once na ye den e baaye wonye MP sesei wonye minister sesei wonye executive e wo MPP mu sesei ye to aba na wakoho a wokoho as an observer meboa as an observer no eba ne sen ne okoya inner perimeters no ukogina ho no wakogina ho more than 1 hour what you say eba ne sen so ne okọ no ukita pepper spray na chese waboa ho
are you calling someone china now are we investigating no
yes onu ankasa hia say you investigating no because the intention to even commit a crime na ankasa a crime the intention to commit a crime in itself is a crime. Enti no me jitum say ba bebo no ana obi ne otu fa de ti ko head no bia no san krofo no be hia say ye investigate be what you say hia say the nipa no tuma kwan me nye police ni me nye lawyer what you say however onu nso ma me kro na no ne say police for no faso ana kwan I said no faso bia I said no faso Debi na dey kind this is somebody or no ankasa timi my best snatch ballot boxes some time ago the same person ti ye wo bi wo ho ma wa hwere ne nkwa ha akumsi nti obi ahwere ne nkwa e okrum ha the same person e shooting ni opponent body guy ne sa nipa no eden eko yade enti no se empempi no se utu ofrensen akurafo a na utu momone sofo what you say enti no ne be person di ko wie se maame no oma nani na ho me feel se nka sa abre we se no nka wasua bibi because chairman wuntumi ba honom no me hu se ne osikasaaye me tu se at least kakrafa na ni aso na dwimu ada ho na dwimu ada ho no anka ne na ban na ewo so ne na odi ne mre ntu asem ene aban no ni ho biem enti the issue of so bekwa kodi boni awie na wa hide behind say wo ye minister na say wo ye MP no ene atwam wotimi kotutuo ma ebisa say denti a ukita tuala na odi tuo no ebo ho ban
mate innocent brebo na
Jebi
and be 10:45 why
Jebi and I saw Western the count I think so because this is a big issue I think so menya so wo he the course so ewo ablekuma it's really shameful very embarrassing but said the media kind me segment into 3 areas na maka ho asam first oba kai be ba videos be catch us say under Akufo-Addo within the MPP, your first intellectualism was sacrificed for idiocy. And I think, sir, now, me say, I don't know, OBOT be a better here. Me name's crime for some mechanic, but the course, our Ablekuman leading to a clear manifestation of this whole thing. This is a political party that will go into a major elections and will suffer the most humiliating defeat in the history of Ghana. At the expectation of every political analyst, looking at the magnitude of Mulusu, say, I said, name ye, Sabaya party will come together and be able to float. Yet, what about we, such conversation, Obiang have yeah, that's sorry, I almost say elections in but you see, events leading to this elections here, of course, now we heard the position of the party. This is a general secretary of a political party. Why your press conference, party executive general and elections near the seminar court or you're boycotting elections. That's fair because he's the CEO or the administrator of the party. Sure. Having wearing certain enormous executive authority over the party. Then after the press conference, the lady in question, the candidate, goes from home to home campaigning against this particular instruction the general secretary and the woman now all go against the general secretary. One call alone, a significant number of the party executive under general secretary were seen at the ground find this grand way with impunity. So the question is, where lies leadership among the leadership of the MPP? Because if the general secretary can make a statement and that statement, few moments after, will be defied. Clearly, party is suffering from leadership crisis. And that there is the need for them to come together and mend the pieces. And who said my platform way, my post to President Kufuor, and some of the revelations are all making it very shocking. Yeah, sure. President Kufuor say on MPP and they and when they are making decisions, they don't even consult him. That's true. Now MPP party no buzia dankwa tradition eguye. And you are not as Kufuor net me when power more. And na onyanduru age a woka asem chena ne wirefi. So he is expecting say baby ojina as obi a otimi de MPP a when power pema party number power no enkaine whenever they are making key and strategic decisions you involve Kufuor in the decision but he has become irrelevant in the our managing party that is the concerns that Kufuor raising. So same way for credence to some kind of had that say the party is not for rebuilding. Now, impose candidate to be on the party, the upcoming elections. That is the priority of the party, and it's the reason why you see this fractured leadership. And in the election they were going to lose because, baby, I'm not sure say anybody was willing to vote for party one lose power where they messed up with this country, and then things are trying to pick up. Obia might want to pick MP at least obetimi go to get something or beba nenchen, and for me that is okay. And Debbie, I think that security wise, I think that IGP and the boys they did a very poor job. Very poor job because in terms of security organization everything was poor because I hope kwanya metro mind to me BCG that particular your friends say wena. Yet here we've talked about vigilantism then as a form. I was West Wogan, I have fresh on our minds. Near my course, so the horror I share on TV and as a forum. The last thing anybody expected, and the kind of nonsense we saw our Ablekuma South and Ablekuma North and as a for because you see it was totally needless. But my question is, some metro mine or more betting cutting, why not do a more again? This back and forth now ANC, we saw the police, we saw the attitude that. I said, the course, do not inform because they were not armed. Exactly. Yes, of course. Nobody was even in a tactical gear. You cannot go into an election ground and assume, say, oh, everything is going to be okay. So police in for it doesn't make sense. You understand? So I think that the grand strategy by the police in dealing with this particular matter was a bit some way. And again, so security elapsed here. Then people with advantage because political individuals will always have political interest. You understand? How about the issue no more? It's unfortunate these things happen, but you see, answer na overcall grounds, already you call grantee interviews or no, or call grounds, and this woman he has a very terrible track record in terms of say hooliganism then as for no I am no some man for lose omobusia for what I say and to call radio so and say when I wear magadia new Van Dam in town call grounds people will meet you and corner pepper spray then as for them. So I think that tell me can we condemn this act of violence or your bar near man cause and everybody see yes say 1 2 who for now with the science who call we are see I'm for this it's quite unfortunate but what the way forward is I expect the security say we cannot just brush it aside because look at where Ghana has gotten to in a democracy we cannot continue to accommodate them in our elections or making sure say every single person be involved will be investigated and will be prosecuted. Unfortunately for us there are video footages out there and JB after this elections we must not forget the sense of the Electoral Commission. So we are here today because of the Electoral Commission, the incompetence and the kind of things of my year. Possession about removing the Electoral Commission as a for no, we must not sweep it under the carpet. Election has gone, people has won and as a for these people still pose a significant danger to our democracy, and I think that all the people sitting there at the Electoral Commission, they must resign and go home because none of them are fit for purpose.
That's it. But I say, quick one. The number.
JB, my main for President Kufuor briefly.
In 30 seconds, why?
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Say partner sideline no.
Yes.
President Kufuor, founding member of MPP. And then we president e wo MPP amanu komu o hia permission e free kodua Justin Kodua and I say national chairman hono mo ansa na the party no enema bi enna wa criticize and I say wa make some corrections party no every baby na do sam so we say president ko forward Ghana ha say ya uncle baby ya meboa because na Kufuor abeye president no hwe katashini buga ni bukata ne ya bronco for pafoko same crab ne ye friend say wo mo former kwableja po kwa ye mo faso what is president Kufuor bo ho wa mo ho wa wanka ho bia president Kufuor ye statesman former president time Ghana for who president Kufuor as statesman ye time NDC wa bemu Mills Mahama 8 years from 2008 to 2016. But 8 years I na Kufuor do because me car me time na so. But so 8 years Mills Mahama do so president Kufuor kasa de fa ho. Ni refi ni so be to crisis na one the one fix. The only thing I otimi here na say wo to do ben so efi Ghana e ko Nigeria say West Africa gas supplier. E ko ye wo how be to Ghana so. E bra crisis ahokire ba ye under Mahama. President Kufuor kasa de fa ho. But 8 years under Onua kasa ni political party na aban no. E niema e ye worse than the Mills Mahama no but san fa hu and the president Kufuor hia permission free Justin Kodua and as party ni penny for bibi bone e koso wa ba be ka che Ghana obian sideline no
that's it na mama that's it Lucius mama that's it innocent and the time now so mama that's it na fa che nyame aduma next week you make sure say